So it's day 17 for the New Zealand Tree Project, and what we're going to do today is just take you through a bit of a run through of our cable cam and Thunderderd setup, which is basically a platform suspended by two wires up in a tree. We've had it set up on the ground at ground level between two trees, but we decided the whole idea of it was to really get it into the canopy. So after a few run-throughs and a few good shots on the forest floor, we invested 4 to 5 days setting this thing up, which is quite ridiculous considering we're only here for about 3 weeks. All right, it's a huge investment in time. But what's actually happening is we have a device called the Syrp Genie, which is a time-lapse and motion control device, all right? And that allows us to basically move that platform in whatever increment we want, okay? So at the moment, the last few days, we've been sending the platform, the Thunderderd, as we call it, between the two trees over a time of about 3.5 hours, okay? And in that time, we're taking about 4,500 shots, okay? It's a lot of photos, it's a lot of time, but it's gonna be hopefully the shot of the whole entire movie. And what we've been looking at on the back of the camera and just quickly back at the fire station when we download, it's been pretty incredible. The shot basically goes from one rimu, our subject rimu, it emerges from the branches, all right? We see the big vista of the emergent trees behind, and we go into the second rimu, which is just behind us here now. Weather, wind, and all these things are huge factors. We're going to try, this is probably going to be our second last run of it, but we thought we'd better just document it because it's pretty insane. And we just want to show you what it's all about, basically. So let's get up there. So we're finally up in the canopy now, and this is the Thunderderd. This is what we keep talking about. This is basically the platform that travels along these two steel wires, okay? The other tree is over that way, about 31 meters away. Okay, so just gonna basically get all the gear onto the platform and then take you through it, okay? So as it is, we have this lump of wood, okay? And basically this end of the wood, this end of the setup is basically the halfway mark of our steel cable, all right? So essentially it's a 100-meter length of steel cable. It goes 50 meters this way, comes in, halfway point here, and then 50 meters back out the other side. So this essentially is a fixed end of the cable, okay? What we have attaching the bit of wood to the tree is a lot of stuff, actually. We have just some nice webbing here, okay? That webbing is wrapped around and girth hitched on, and then we have some ratchet straps back here. Okay, these ratchet straps allow us to have a huge amount of force pulling those cables, okay? The tighter it is, I've found the better it is and the more stable it is, okay? So these ratchet straps, if we twang the wires of the I'll get close. So the steel cable is like a guitar string. It's so taut, okay? And it needs to be that way so you don't end up having this huge dip in the middle of the time lapse, which is not bad, but I just want it to be nice and flat as possible. At the moment, this 31-meter span, it only drops with one camera on it and the Genie. It only drops about 30 centimeters, which is pretty cool, all right? It's good tension. So we have the webbing, the ratchet strap, which goes around the tree, all right? These, once again, the green string, these green strings are sort of helping to eliminate the wiggle in the board, okay? So the tension of the wire and the ratchet strap still allowed for a lot of like movement, wiggle, I would call it, all right? And these green strings, I've got 2 up high on each side, 2 down low on each side, and this one off to this tree just down here, okay? And they are basically there just to try and eliminate that wiggle, all right? So it's pretty solid. It's very solid, okay? Without that green string, any vibration that is caused in the middle takes much longer to stabilize. Important thing as well is 2 ratchet straps, okay? Not one that goes all the way around, okay? You need to tension the wires independently, okay? And the only way you can get them really both at the same tension is actually have the platform loaded in the middle of the setup, okay? And then you can just ratchet one strap. It'll always just go off kilter a bit, and you can just tighten one wire and then bring it back up to level with the other wire. All right, so that was an easy way of getting it level. So yeah, what we need to do now is just program the Genie to do its job, basically. So what we're going to do is go auto start, and we have we got auto start mode, time lapse, clouds. I've got a program already in here. 31 meters minus, 3.5 hours, 2-second interval, and we'll get 252 seconds of footage at the end of that when it's compiled. All right, so just double check all the settings. So countdown is 1 minute 20. The mode is time lapse. The preset I've got is D, which is a 31 meter in that direction. And at the end of the recording, it'll just power off. So one thing that the New Zealand Tree Project, and especially myself, have to do is thank Syrp very, very much for their help. The Genie and its time lapse and its video capabilities has allowed us to shoot the tree, the forest, and the environment in a way that we couldn't have done without it. All right, so it's really next level material that we have now, thanks to Syrp and the Genie.
There are very few places left in the North Island that have the intact forest pattern that Puriora has, and Puriora is really the last real examples that survive. This is primeval New Zealand at its best.
Being up in a tall tree, looking at epiphytes, or just enjoying the experience is really amazing. It is a privilege, and there's a sense of genuine wonder. You know, the view from up here, how all the plants look from above, is always capturing my imagination and calming me down when I get a bit nervous about climbing. But it's all worthwhile because not many people get to see this.
We're up 35 metres up a large rimu tree, and what's it like up here? It makes me feel humbled that I've got the privilege to be up here. It's something special. It's hard to describe the feeling I have when I'm up in these magnificent native trees. It's almost like this is one of those things that I was born to do. The first time I climbed, it was like a world opening up to me that I'd never seen before. The challenge of climbing these large trees is significant compared to a park tree. I mean, these trees have been here for centuries. The epiphytes, the size of the branching, just the height of them makes them a challenge to climb. They're not the tallest trees in the world, but they are full of sensitive plants that require care and attention when you're climbing.